Alright. We're on the year 185, I assume in Sokotrine still. I think. Well, I didn't actually say, but I can only assume we're still in Sokotrine. Maybe. And this is before the Fire of Collapse. And also, I think it's also before the Masters Revolution, before the refugees from the unknown lands came. So let's see what this world is like. Seems to be snowing. It drifts down from the sky above. A blanket woven by winter's seamstress, draped in its frigid embrace, a rundown building. A broken egg nestled in the snow. Within the building, a shivering young girl could be seen, huddled in the hallway all alone. The girl had no name, no family, no background, no reason to reject the release of coming death. Oh no. Her eyes flicker and shift as she begins to slip into a deep slumber. It's warm. And that's actually... well, unless she's been saved. Otherwise, if you start feeling warm while you're under, like, winter conditions or cold conditions in general, that's an indication that you're about to die. You shouldn't be feeling warm, I think that's hypothermia. But hopefully the girl is saved, because that'd be a really quick scene if she just simply died just then. So very warm. But that's wrong. Why does it feel so warm? Okay, good. She was saved. I opened my eyes, only to be met with a head of scruffy hair. You're awake. The scruffy hair tilts back, and two big round eyes peer up at me. A girl around my age. For some reason, she has snuggled up against me and wrapped her blanket around us. You're hungry, right? Eat this. Reaching into the folds of the blanket, she pulls out a loaf of bread and presses it against my lips. My body acts automatically. Bite, chew, swallow. I repeat the process until the bread is gone. Having filled my stomach, thought returns to me at last. Why? Why are you helping me? A nameless girl. Why am I helping you? With a big, wide smile, she answers me. Because I feel like it. For a moment, the world changes. I didn't know how to describe the change besides different. Well, there's more color, for one. No, it's back to monochrome. Well, sort of monochrome. It's not completely black and white, but it's a little muted. But it leaves a strong impression on me as it fades away. My name is Mallory. Mallory. What's your name? I don't have a name. You don't have a name? Mallory makes a troubled face, but after falling silent for a while, she suddenly brightens up. Well, let's give you a name then. I was gonna save this one for when I had a baby, but how about Emini? Emini? Emini or Emini? I'm gonna say Emini. Emini is a pretty name because you can shorten it to Amy. Amy means friend, That's what Big Sis told me. Friend. Do you like it? I nod. Okay then. Nice to meet you, Emini. Amy, or is it? Well, you could shorten it to Amy, right? But do you pronounce it Amy? Amine? Emine? Emine? Anime? No. Emini. Emini? I'm gonna say Emini. I'm new at the orphanage, so I don't know anyone yet. Okay, so we're in the orphanage. But now I made my first friend here. Mallory smiles bashfully. Mallory. Yes, Amy? Mallory. Amy. Mallory. Amy. The two of us laugh. I didn't have any real reason for calling her name. I just liked how it felt when I said her name, and when she said my name. My name. Mallory, can I ask you something? What is it? What color is snow? What color is snow? Well, it's snow-colored. No. She tilts her head at my question. No, it's just white, right? It doesn't have a color. Well, I can't remember in color theory. Was it white, the absence of color, or was it black, the absence of color? I don't know. It's one of those two. White. Can you not see color? I shake my head. Oh, okay. The way I saw the world was different from other people. My eyes can see color, and I know what color is. I know what it's supposed to be, but I still can't see it. Huh. How strange. I don't really get it. I don't either, but I think I saw it for a bit. I think I saw color when you spoke to me. Really? Well, that means there's hope. We need to figure it out. Not being able to see color sounds so sad. We'll definitely find a way to make you see it. Pinky swear. And on that day, Mallory will have a death flag. My life changed on that day. A lone girl with no background, no identity. There had been no future for me, who balanced on a fragile present with no past to support me. But by meeting Mallory, I gained something, a reason to live. She showed me I could exist. Color, a human being full of color and warmth. Why had she saved me? Who was this girl that had given me a name, who promised to help me see? Those questions breathed life into an empty chest, giving me the will to reject death. I only had one regret. The lie I told her on that day. There is one color I can see. The color that flows from a person where their time has come. A color that flows from a person where their time has come. Ah! It flowed from his pierced throat, a beautiful, vivid hue, painting over the monochrome canvas of the world. The color was not as vibrant as when Mallory spoke to me, but it filled me with an ecstasy that numbed my mind. More. I want to see more. Oh, okay. This wasn't as wholesome as I was thinking. Did you see what happened last night, Amy? A boy slipped and fell in the kitchen. He was holding a knife and it went straight through his throat. I don't know if that's exactly what happened. Oh, is that so? I totally did not stab him in the neck. What was he doing in the kitchen? You're not supposed to go there after bedtime. Well, he was the big kid that always took other people's food. They think he might have been trying to steal more since the lock looked like it had been chipped away with the knife. Oh, he took your food once, didn't he? Yeah, but I'll never do that again now. I'm totally not a super, yandere for you, Mallory. Totally gonna kill everyone that tries to even, try to hurt you. Even a little bit. Amy. An impoverished orphan, where there was many mouths to feed but nowhere near enough to go around. It was a place where passively waiting for a meal was the same as idly inviting death, famine, plague. In times like such, those that thieve are the ones that live to see another day. Both within the orphanage and outside it, I stole. Naturally, taking that food meant it would never reach another child's hungry mouth. But so long as Mallory could eat, I had no qualms with shouldering the burden. Oh boy. There were times when stealing weren't enough, though. When food was especially short, there was only one thing to be done. Many mouths to feed, not enough to go around. But there's nothing you can do about the latter, you simply have to do something about the former. In the end, an inescapable cold truth would always dictate my actions. Fewer mouths to feed meant more for those that remained. Be careful near those stairs. Last month, a girl fell down and broke her neck. You must have eaten something that went bad. It was throwing up a lot the night before. So long as it was made to look like an accident, nobody questioned it. I think Amy is a pretty great at getting a silent assassin as her rating. Just like in Hitman. The details of how we went mattered little when so many of us were on the verge of starvation. Such was the life we knew. Oh, 190 now? Okay, 5 years later. No, I don't like it. Why would they come back for you after abandoning you for so many years? I'll be fine, Amy. I told you how I have an older sister, right? She's always been very sickly. Since her medicine costs so much, my parents decided to leave me at the orphanage for a while so they could afford it. Well, it looks like everything is better now, so they want me to come back. I don't trust them. They never even visited you until now. I think it might be hard for you to understand, Amy, since you never had a family before. Well, that's a bit of a burn. It's true. Having grown up in the orphanage since my first memories, the concept of a family had never seemed like more than a fable to me. You'll visit? I'll come by here as soon as I'm settled in. Pinky swear. I think Mallory's fucking dead. She's fucking dead, isn't she? Oh my g- Weeks passed by without me hearing anything from Mallory. I began to grow restless. The sleepless nights ate into my heart until I could no longer bear it. Taking it to the streets, I searched fruitlessly without rest. Then one day, I came across a chance encounter in Socotrine's back alleys. Okay, so yeah, we are still in Socotrine. And this is before like modern conventions and stuff, right? So this is still under the aristocracy. So very, very old-fashioned, I guess. A man I recognized as Mallory's father was conversing with a larger man with fine clothing. No more trial runs. We'll complete the transaction today. Has the time come to take my dear Snow White home? Oh, but how it pains me to tear her away from her oh-so-loving family. Are you trafficking? Child trafficking? Shut up. What a miserable man you have become. I do think it regrettable, you know. So bright and talented, but a wonderful future ahead of you. Yet now you live in the broken shell of a home, having pawned all your belongings. And to think you would go even this far, how truly pitiful. You have the money, I trust. Of course. Let us go then. Melting into the shadows, I trail after the two men. They take me to the side of what once may have been a fine house. Mallory's father lets the man in. He surveys the area before entering after him. It's time. My heart beats not. I slide up to the door, listen intently. Breath does not come from my mouth. I pick the lock, soundlessly, smoothly. My feet do not tread upon this earth. I slip inside. Inside I slip. For I am colorless. I can see it. It's back. Oh no! Mallory's father, hunched over a table, effacedly recounts the money he has just received. Still not enough. A splashing of blood. With cold brutality, I saw deep into his throat, judiciously severing both arteries. Well, that was I was gonna say it was a clean kill. It's not exactly clean, is it? With moments, his muffled gurgling grows silent as his color spills over his beloved money. Kill confirmed. Isn't that a Call of Duty like game mode? Anyway, I turn my attention to deeper within the house, an area where noise can be heard from. Down a set of stone steps, I enter a dimly lit basement. The man from before. He towered over the limp figure of a lone girl. That girl was Mallory. Well, I meant to toll with you before taking back to the manor, but I think you'll faint upon hearing the news. Was it really that shocking, being betrayed by your beloved family? You're different from the other girls, you know. No matter how much I played with you, you never broke. Oh my... Kill, please kill. That's why I'm really looking forward to seeing how long you last. You're mine now, mine, and only mine. Oozing with sleaze, the man fingers Mallory's unmoving figure. Something spikes and surges through me at the sight. Dashing forward, I trace a wide arc across the man's neck with my knife. But with unprecedented reflexes, the man manages to shield himself. Nani? Gah, who the hell are you? The man roars angrily as he clutches at his bleeding wrists. I step back as he lashes out violently with his uninjured left arm. Ducking under one of his wild swings, I slip around him low to the ground and slice into his calf, causing him to lose balance and sprawl onto all fours. The finishing blow, homing in on the base of his neck, I let my blade descend. At the last moment, he thrashes and it plunges into his lower back instead. Whoa. Making use of his sheer size, the man rams me into the wall. Oh no. He slams me against the ground and wraps his hands around my neck. Die! Lower back, left section. Arcing my torso off the ground, I draw my right arm back as far as possible. Then I jam the fingers on my left hand deep into the wound on his wrist. Yeah! When his grip loosens, I muster all my strength and strike him as hard as I can, right under where the knife is embedded in his back. Twisting free of his weakened grasp, I kick out his injured leg. I use the leverage to wrap my arms around his neck and pull him into a guillotine choke. In a desperate last-ditch effort, he tries to lift me into the air. But the closed guard I apply in conjunction with his calf injury makes it impossible for him to gain a footing. Eventually, he falls silent and goes limp. Well, I mean, murder is bad, but like he kind of deserves it. I don't know if the father deserves like being, murdered in the neck, but this guy deserves it. I don't know if the father deserved it. Oh well. I mean, I guess selling out his daughter to like a creep, pretty unredeemable. But again, does it deserve death? I'm not sure. But again, this guy deserves death, so keep killing him. Keep stabbing him, please. No. I take the opportunity to wrench my knife out his back, burying the tip into the base of his neck. I pull free. His heavy body hits the ground with a dull thud. A good riddance. A deep breath. I rise from the ground. Mallory. I stumble over to her, only able to look on blankly at the state she had been reduced to. The abuse she had sustained was simply too cruel. This stubborn girl always helped others with a dumb smile. What twisted world deemed that she deserved such a fate? Droplets of blood began to drip from my face onto her closed eyelids. They traced a path down on her cheeks, causing her to weakly open her eyes. Amy? A hoarse, broken voice was barely recognizable. Is that you? It's me. Amy. Yes? Amy. Mallory. Amy. Mallory. Amy. Our laughter echoes weakly through the dim underground room. I'm a bit tired, so I'm gonna rest a little more. Sorry. I'll watch over you. Pulling out a handkerchief, I wiped the blood from her face. This handkerchief, Mallory had made it for me out of the fabric of her dress. According to her, it fit me because it was blue as the boundless sky. Oh, a blue handkerchief, I can't see blue. I hope Mallory isn't sleeping too long. I wonder... Well, let's see. Gently separating from her, I ease her figure to the ground. The sound of a footstep. I turn in place, only to be met with a woman's paralyzed expression. Mallory's mother. She must have just returned home. With a shriek of terror, she tries to flee, but my blade was already no longer in my hand. Rather, it lances deep into her thigh, tripping her and causing her to smash her head against the stone steps. Okay, we're killing the mother too. I mean, a witness would be not be good for us right now. So, desperate to get away, the woman claws her way up the steps. I don't let her. I rip the knife out of her leg. Ah! She screams in pain and kicks out at me. I back off and wait. When she begins crawling again, I let the knife fall on her vulnerable lower joints, repeatedly, without pause. By the time she makes it to the floor above, her lower body is completely crippled. I step over her fallen figure, watching on as she rolls on her back and raises her arms in surrender. Please, I didn't want it to come to this either. To her pleas for mercy, I say nothing. Instead, I grab one of her arms and slice in the tendons of her elbow. I mean, does the mother deserve this as well? I don't know, Amy. Kind of a gray area here. Mallory's mother wails in agony, but I guess Amy is just so used to killing, to reach her goals. This is all she knows, and this is what she's gonna do. She begs to me with a face streaked with snot and tears. What do you want? Please, I'll tell you anything. What do you want? Answer me. Why did you take Mallory away from the orphanage? We needed the money to pay for her sister's medicine. You told Mallory her older sister's condition had stabilized. We lied to her. Her condition actually got worse. You couldn't leave the hospital, but we couldn't afford it. So we... I see. So that's how it was. What are you gonna do with me? I'm going to torture you to death. No! Please! I swear to you, we did everything we could, With a cry of pain, her last functioning limb drops limply to her side. I don't know. It's, again, kind of a gray area. For one, all they wanted to do was save her sister. But on the other hand, they're they're sacrificing Mallory to do so. So in a way, they're favoring one daughter over the other, and I guess in Amy's eyes, that's unforgivable. You didn't stop it. Her main figure resembled a marionette with strings cut off. Mallory's father. Did you see what I did to him? Grabbing her by the hair, I dragged her helpless figure through the house. With her limbs disabled, she had no way to resist. The only thing she could do was sob wretchedly as her scalp stretched and tore under the force. Mallory's father was exactly where I left him. What did you do to him? Leaving her writhe on the floor below, I approached the table. I pulled his head back, exposing his gaping gullet and rolled-backed eyes. No, dear! Mallory's mother weeps in tear-choked heartbreak as her eyes fall upon the cavernous gash on her beloved's throat. Well, it's a shame I couldn't take my time with him. Yeah, at least, at the very least, it was a quick death. I glide over to her trembling figure and bend down, bringing my face close to hers. But it's fine. I whisper flatly into her ear, because there's you. I turn to the kitchen cabinets, begin rummaging through the contents. Kitchens are full of things you can use to torture people, Mortar and pestle. It's ironic, isn't it? Kitchen shears, the heart of a home, where people go to nourish their bodies. A glass cup. I'll serve you a fine last meal. With the routine air of someone preparing supper, I smash the glass cup and begin grinding the shards into fine dust with mortar and pestle. Please, you don't have to do this. My preparations complete, I place the selected items down next to her. I wonder. Your neighbor should be used to hearing screams. Let's test it. Will anybody come? Mallory's mother shakes her head in warped denial as I press down on her with shears in hand. For example, a house from which screams erupted on a regular basis. If screams would have filled the air once more, why would anyone have any reason to care? Hysterical. Because this woman had stood by as her daughter cried out in vain, help would never come for her own dying screams. Ah! I place her pinky finger between the shears. Again, Does she really deserve this? I don't know. I think Amy, again, I think on one hand, she's a little justified in taking revenge on, on the people that ruined Mallory's life, or Mallory's life. But at the same time, you don't have to go this far. But I guess, well, a normal human would probably not go this far. But I think Amy, well, I think she's a little, I don't know, a little, well, Amy. I place her pinky finger between the shears, squeeze down, and chop. The tip comes flying off. My eyes take it all in. They lap up the freshly spilt blood, lick and devour it. Yeah, because, part of it is Amy's doing it for her friend. The other part is that she enjoys this. She enjoys the murder and the killing and the torture. So it's probably part of why she's doing this as well. It's not just revenge. She's not just doing it for her friend. She's doing it for herself as well. It's so vibrant. Even the color of people like her. Ah! Something twists and clenches in me at the sound of her screams. Had Mallory screamed like this, locked in that dark basement all alone, unable to get away, forsaken by the very ones she trusted, with no hope of rescue or escape. Please stop. Methodically working through her extremities, I switch to my knife and slice open her gut. I reach into her abdomen and pull out her bowels. I show them to her, but she shuts her eyes to avoid beholding the sight. How futile. Grabbing her head, I slice off her eyelids and force her to bear witness to her own spilt innards. I watch on as her eyeballs gyrate and roll in their sockets, repeating a cycle of fainting and awakening to the horror and pain. Well, next I slice open the tissue supporting her jaw and smash her nose with the pestle. Oh yeah, so this is what the content warning is for. Anyway. I bring the mortar filled with glass dust to the woman's lips. Now drink. Her nose crushed, she had no choice but to continue breathing through her mouth, even as fine glass shards funneled down her throat. In response to the foreign objects entering her lungs, her body automatically starts coughing. But that only causes the glass bits to burrow deeper into the delicate tissue. Blood begins to spew from her mouth as the glass tears her apart from the inside. I wonder what Mallory thinks about this. Is she still sleeping? Hopefully she's not seeing any of this. Pouring the glass had been her death sentence, the coup de grace. With this she cannot be saved. No matter how agonizingly long it may take, Mallory's mother will die without fail. As I watch over the woman's death throes, my eyes catch on something amidst her splayed entrails. An organ that brings life into the world. Proof that one has given birth. A mother's womb. Fire sparks through my veins as I look upon it. I plunge my knife into the uterus. Over and over again. Why did I let her go? Why did I take so long to realize? Why? Directing the vitriol in my heart to the blade's tip, I mutilate the organ in a blind fury. All this time I've been idle as Mallory suffered. Mallory's mother was no longer breathing, but the ire consuming me did not lessen. It's not enough. The boundless hunger within me. No matter how much I gorge, I can never sate it. The world will kill and eat. Supporting myself against the wall, I unsteadily rise to my feet. The world will kill and eat. The scene I had painted in my wrath. It's so full of color. I've always been told, flowers are beautiful. Flowers are full of color. It's true. When the petals have been spread all over the room like this, it's beautiful. After regaining my composure, I turned away from my handiwork. There was work to be done. Oil, rags, firewood. I guess gotta burn away the evidence. When everything is set up, I return to the basement with water and cloth. Mallory. Even when the marks on her body fade, will the scars upon her soul ever fully heal? I'll erase it all. Taking Mallory upon my back, I light the house on fire. As we leave the accursed place behind, I resolve upon something in my heart. This innocent girl who's only ever helped others with a dumb smile. I won't let anyone hurt her anymore. Even the world becomes my enemy, I will stay by her side and protect her. That I swear. Oh. A serial killer and her best friend. Who is it? Okay, is this a hospital? Come out. I know you're there. I slip through the shadows to the girl's bedside and press a knife to her throat. Oh. However, she shows no sign of distress. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Fina. This girl, she did not fear death. I mean, I assume this is Mallory's sister, and she's about to die anyway, so... Realizing it held no weight, I lowered the knife. Mallory's older sister. That I am. And you are? I'm Mallory's friend, from the orphanage. Fina smiles and sighs contentedly. Oh, good girl. She's always been good at following instructions. You must have had your hands full looking after her. That girl doesn't know how to be selfish, you know. Without someone like you as her ally, she would never last in a place like that. Might I know your name? Ammonai. The same name that she was planning on giving her firstborn. It must be fate that led you two together. How can I help you, Ammonai? Do you know of it? What your parents have done to Mallory? What? They lied to Mallory. They took her from the orphanage and locked her in the basement. Letting men rape and ravage her, they trafficked her over and over again. All for money. All for revenge. No, all for money. Money for your treatment. How could they? Fina's lips quiver. Her fingernails dig into her palms. Even though I told them so many times, just let me die. She tries to rise, but the axe sends her into a hacking fit. You know, is this a good idea to let Fina know? Maybe you should have let her, like, die in bliss rather than telling her the truth, you know? In her death throes? I don't know. Oh well. Sap of strength, she crumples and collapses against the bed. I have to stop them. There's no need. Your parents are already dead. Mo Shindieru. Your house as well is nothing but ash. Fina goes quiet. She studies my face intently. It was not the reaction I expected. You are not angry? They fell by my hand after all. You did that all to protect Mallory? I see. Thank you, Ammonai. I don't understand it well, but your parents, they were family to you. You should be angry, sad. Yet you are thanking me. Why? They are already dead, and I will be following them shortly. Also, you didn't tell me how you tortured my mother in a very cruel fashion, so at the very least, I don't have to think about that. But Mallory's still alive. Well, not enough to convince you, huh? I'll tell you then. It's true that I once loved them, but that feeling has long dried up. I just don't care anymore. I don't feel a thing at the news that they're dead. I know it's ungrateful of me. After all, I sacrificed so much, threw away everything for my sake, but I never asked for any of that. Ina turns to a vase on her bedstand, where a single solitary flower lay. Reaching out, she strokes the head of the flower. The petals ply under her fingers. They curl and fall to the ground. Every time they visited, they would always bring flowers. To liven up the room, they would say, but I never wanted any flowers. All I ever wanted was to lie with my hands turned up and be utterly empty. Empty as I faded away. This girl. It wasn't that she didn't fear death, Rather, death was what she wanted, what she wished for. They knew of how you felt. I told them countless times. There's none so deaf as those who are not here. When they spoke with me, they would look at me, but they would never see me. That's how I felt. Fina lets out a deep breath and lets her body fall limp. Even the mere act of speaking seemed exhausting for her. I made my peace a long time ago, but my parents were never able to accept it. It's always been like this. Mallory's always been made to suffer for my sake. If only I had been born. A thin line of blood traces down Fina's cheek as she descends to a violent coughing fit again. Can you give me your hand, Amanai? Her limbs shaking like those of a newborn fawn, Fina reaches out and places a keychain in my palm. Attached to it were a single key and a little clay chicken. There's nothing noteworthy about the key. The chicken, though, it's ugly. Don't say that. Mallory made it for me when she was little. It's very dear to me, you see. What should I do with this? Well, give it to my doctor and explain the situation to her. She'll take care of the rest. Actually, let me look at the keychain. What was the keychain? Is that a chicken, though? Single key and a little clay chicken. Wonder if I need to remember that later on. We set up a trust fund for Mallory in case something like this happened, though I can't say I expected both our house and parents to go on ahead of me. I gazed down at the keychain Fina had entrusted me with. This is my final gift. The last thing I do with this cursed life. Fina smiles feebly. It's the same. That dumb smile Mallory makes as she helps others. I lean in close enough to feel her ragged breath on my face. You're just like her. Running my fingers through her hair, I take in her scent. I'm pretty ticklish, you know. My doctor fusses over it all the time. Even her laugh was the same. I couldn't really see well before. Fina reaches out and cups my cheek with her hand. But you're quite the beauty, aren't you? My body shudders at the unbelievable comfort of human touch. Even without spreading her open, I can tell. She was overflowing with color. Color so thick was maddening. I want to consume her. What do you mean by that? What do you mean? Like, you could take that in many different interpretations. But I desperately restrain myself. You really care about Mallory, don't you? Gently easing my hand open, Fina entwines my fingers in mine. It makes me feel so jealous. Her voice takes on a mysterious tone as she presses my hand against her chest. Can you feel it? The rise and fall of her chest. A rhythmic heartbeat. It's proof I'm alive. That I exist here and now. My mind goes numb as I gaze into her eyes. Her wet lips overflowing with unspoken sentiment. Her pale skin dappled in blushing moonlight. A frail smile laden with fabulous longing. I want to make her mine. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Amy? Being alive is so painful. It's the same for you, isn't it? I know. Can tell. Yet even then, you continue to live on. Strongly with all you have. I can't stand it. It's not fair. It's not fair that Mallory gets to have you all to herself. Wrapping her arms around my neck, Fina draws me in close and whispers into my ear. So just for one night, let me have you to myself. Okay, sure. And the season's turn. We're not gonna talk about that. With them, an autumn leaf falls. As promised, Fina had willed everything under the family name Mallory. Yeah, I assume Fina has passed away. The two of us held a small service for her in the playground near the hospital. I didn't know what kind of relationship Mallory had with her older sister, but the way she stood unmoving for hours on end before Fina's remains made me think. I think it might be hard for you to understand, Amy, since you never had a family before. The concept known as family was truly something I didn't understand. Several months passed uneventfully as the seasons followed their due course. However, a startling realization dawned upon us as the year went by. Mallory was with child. Oh, okay. When the day of delivery came to pass, a healthy young girl was brought kicking and screaming into the world. Oh wait. Oh. I was gonna say, Mallory found someone? Like, in like a normal, healthy relationship? But then I thought about it, and it's like, oh. Oh. That's where the kid came from. We ended up naming the baby Alouette. Oh! Alouette? We know Alouette. We know a Alouette. Oh, it's 200. Okay, so this is after the revolution, and I guess it's during the fire of collapse? So yeah, okay, just a little reminder to myself, actually. The fire collapse is in the year 200. And this is when Kalia and Triss are alive, I guess. So, are we gonna see what happened exactly with them? With the Lyric twins? Mommy, mommy! Gurgling noisily, Kalia waves her hands and reaches out for me. Where do you think you're going, Kalia? Okay, oh, it's Ammonite. I watch on as she crawls under my dress and pokes her head out from beneath the folds. Oh, not you too, Triss. The little one had a habit of following after his adventurous sister's example. Mama? Huh? This is when he still has his voice. Poking his head out alongside his sister, he peers into my eyes with a curious expression. Looks like they're trying to get back into their original home. Okay. I'm trying to like piece it together, so I assume Emma also she also had kids, I guess. They're her twins. She had the twins, and Autun is the father. I assume that's what he's saying. Autun Lyric, a man whose hands always seem to be occupied with something. Even now, he was hunched over a table, nimbly working a series of fixtures into a strange mechanical contraption. Yeah, if we remember, he's kind of like an engineer sort of person. Well, I'm not letting you back in there. You two kick too much. I mean, yeah, I guess it's kind of like a... Well, for now. We know what happens later, but for now, it's kind of like a happy ending for Emma. You know, saves her friend. You know, I was thinking they would, you know, Mallory and Emma would be together, but I guess not. Because after that little incident with her sister, I thought something might awaken from deep within Emma, finding another way to sate her hunger, I guess, other than killing. But I guess not. I guess she just had like a normal family with Autun, I guess. And Mallory, I don't know where Mallory is. Is Mallory? I don't remember Mallory as a character in the present time, so I can only assume she's dead. But we know she had Alouette, so Alouette she's alive, at the very least. Anyway, Mada, Muda. Now what is this child doing? Kalia can speak normally. What is Mada Triss keeps saying? He's trying to say Muda, trying to summon his stand. No. Sort of pissing me off. Autun makes a troubled expression but doesn't break his fine line of concentration. Well, I think he's trying to combine Mama and Dada into one word. He's got an innovator's blood in him. Shoot, you little rascals. I settled back into my seat after chasing out the two naughty scamps. Well, Daddy's busy. Go bother Mama, you two. Kalia, Triss, come here. A silence broken only by Autun's continued tinkering descends upon the room as the twins sit down obediently before me. Excuse me. Brushing my fingers against their noses, I note with mild amusement how starkly different their reactions are. While Kalia squeals and tries to nibble on my finger, Triss scrunches up his face all funny as if he's about to sneeze. Ah, there, that should do it. To see me, he had completed his tuning of the mechanical device. At long last, Atun detaches himself from the seat he had been glued to all night. He wipes his forehead and brings fruit of his toil over to us. This should make a fine toy for these two. With a smile, he winds up a little lever on the device. Upon release, a simple musical tone begins to flow from it. The twins stare with rapt attention as he kneels and holds the device out before them. I watch on as the two children struggle over the right to examine the toy first. Why do you build things, Atun? Why do I build things? Because it's fun. Atun stretches his stiff limbs widely, cracking his joints in the process. That really hits the spot. Dad pushed me to pursue construction because of how stable the field is, but it's the intricate stuff like clockwork that's always been my passion. From designing architecture to inventing contraptions, Atun's always had a penchant for building things, and he certainly possessed the talent to match that passion. Hey, Kalia, don't hit your brother like that. Ever since they were little, Kalia's always hitting Triss. The fight over possession of the toy had escalated to a miniature brawl. He's a big dummy. Ah! Teardrops began to stream down Triss's face after a convincing Kalia kick plants his little behind on the floor. Oh, not again. Why can't you two be nice to each other? Pulling out my handkerchief, the blue one, I dab away the clear droplets flowing from Tristan's eyes. Mallory's expecting my company after work today. Okay, yeah, Mallory's still alive, that's good. Well, I don't know what happens later, but for now, it's good. Take care of them while I'm gone. When I finish wiping away the tears, I walk to the door and slip on my boots. What? That's not fair. You spend more time with Mallory than you do with me. Crossing his arms, Atun pouts. Well, I like her more. Why didn't you marry her instead then? Yeah, why didn't you marry her instead? I was expecting the Urian. Well, she doesn't roll that way, so I had to make do with you. Oh, okay. I mean, that makes sense, you know. If your sexualities are incompatible, it's like, it's nothing you can do. Well, jokes like that sting, you know. And what makes you think I'm joking? Oh. Toying with Atun was criminally easy. You children behave now. I boop Atun on the nose. Well, I'm not a 2-year-old. No matter how gruff he may act, though, in the end, he's just a hopelessly big softy. You're sulking. No, I'm not. Alright then, bye. Atun makes a lonesome noise as I stride out the door. Fine. Take your time coming back. It's been a while since I had a house myself. What are you doing, Kalia? Let's play, Daddy, let's play. Muda, muda. Kono dio da. No, You two watch over Daddy for me, okay? Don't act like I'm the one who needs watching. Well, that's a happy family. A happy ending. For now. Upon arriving at the Basia household, I'm greeted by a familiar face. It's Amy. Hello, my po-faced dearie. Geez, is that how you greet your childhood bestie? Mallory squeezes my cheeks with a stupid smile. I grumble dourly as she plays with my face. This woman sure had a curious way of greeting people. Your deadpan expression is so cute, Amy. Well, I always have this expression on. Well, doesn't that just mean you're cute all the time? If you don't know how to react, you can always blush and fidget and go, "You really mean that, Mallory?" No. Flatly vetoing the notion, I show my way into her room, or her house, or her home rather. I keep saying room, it's a home. Mallory's flights of fancies snowball out of control at a frightening rate if you let her have her way. Oh, you're no fun. We take our seats at the dining room table, where tea has already been prepared. Well, it's been 15 years now, huh? 15 years since we first met. Mallory looks off into the distance with a gaze of weary reminiscence. On that snowy day 15 years ago, I was born. Under the name Ammonai, my time started moving, bringing me all the way to this day. Sokatra has changed so much since then. It's only been 5 years since the Master's Revolution, but the Velerin Master's rule has brought such prosperity. Give us stoves and lamps and whatnot. It's great. A UL refugee convoy. Their arrival changed everything. Though refugees in name, in an ironic twist, it was their arrival that liberated Socotrine from its deterioration. Their mobile production facilities single-handedly lifted Socotrine from its years-long famine, and in a miraculous matter of months, their bioagent eradication corps wiped out the plague. Oh, that's nice. So the situation with the orphans. Oh yeah, because if I remember in the history lesson, there was like exactly that. There was like famine and plague. That's what caused the orphanage in the first place, you know. But since the revolution, everything's been nice, so that's good. Factories, industry, contemporary science, and events infrastructure. It felt like we had been ushered from a time of deprivation to one of prosperity in the blink of an eye. Socotrine was not the only thing that changed, though. I look over at Mallory as she brings a teacup to her lips. She was now a lovely, fully matured woman, happily married and mother to 3 healthy children. 3 children, not just Alouette. It was the very picture of a bright future. I would have never imagined it back then. I can still remember holding her sobbing figure whenever she awoke in the middle of the night. You were always the one finding a way to provide for us back then. I wanted to be able to protect you as well, instead of always being the one protected. Your strength and kindness. I've always envied it, Amy. Kindness. I mean, to you, and to the people she cares about, I guess. But not so much to her enemies. I'm not a kind person, nor am I strong. I was just desperate. The period between Alouette's birth and the Master's Revolution, survival had balance on the edge of a knife. There's always a way so long as one is willing to get their hands dirty. I have no regrets about the path I've carved. Mallory and Alouette are here now today. We're alive, along with all the others we hold dear. And that's all that matters to me. You really are a kind person, Amy. I'm not. You are. It didn't seem like she'd budge on the issue. Stubborn. Geez, how come you accept it when Atun says it, but not when I say it? Well, I hit him when he says dumb things like that. Oh, do you remember how I met my hubby? No, actually. Why don't you tell the story again for the 960th time? Oh, you. When did you become so sassy, Amy? My first meeting of Ida was so romantic. While fishing a suicidal man out of Evgit in the rain doesn't strike me as very romantic. Well, you're just wording it unflatteringly. Idon Basia, a young man who had lost his entire family to plague. Mallory met Idon for the first time while crossing the faded bridge that overlooked Evgit. Known by the epithet Heaven's Fall, it was a place where the lost and weary yielded their lives to the river of eternity. Even if the drop didn't kill you, being carried beyond Socotrine's borders by Evgit was a death sentence, into the mist. Prolonged exposure to the mist wreaked havoc on the mind and body, after all. It was really surprising, though. It was really surprising how calm he seemed. Oh, Amy, humour me a bit, would you? Standing on the very edge of Heaven's Fall, ready to cast it all away, that was when Mallory came up to him under the falling rain. Hello, I'm Mallory. Can I come over and talk with you a bit? And then she just listened to him. She didn't tell him everything would be okay or that she understood him, just lent an ear and encouraged him to go on. That continued on for a while, but then... Well, I want to thank you, Mallory, but I have to go. To the one before her, about to forfeit his life, Mallory spoke. Please live. But her plea fell upon unhearing ears. Without any hesitation, he stepped into the air. Of course, Mallory was not the type of person that could ever walk away from that. She plunged into the water after him, dragged his unconscious figure to land and pounded the breath back into him. When Idon awakened, he couldn't understand why he had been saved. He already given up on everything after all. Please live and suffer. What Mallory had to say were not words of comfort, though. Rather, what came from her mouth was a harsh decree. The only truth of this world is that you need not suffer alone. Won't you suffer with me? Won't you suffer with me? Real courting words those are. Alright, maybe romantic isn't the best way to describe it. But our first meeting was really something. Jumping into Evgate on a rainy day, she's honestly such a bonehead. I guess you could say you fell for each other that day. Huh. Suddenly the atmosphere freezes over. No way. Could it be? Did you just make a joke, Amy? No. You're imagining things. Mallory clutches at her stomach as she bursts into laughter. It was a nice one, too. Amy making a joke. Tears were visibly squeezing out from under her eyelids. Such was the extent of her laughter. Oh, what's next? Is fire going to rain from the sky? Cut to fire raining from the sky. I'll actually save here. Let's just stretch for a bit. And drink some water. Alright. Or just crack my back. Anyway. Is fire going to rain from the sky? I mean, this is a little bit on the nose, isn't it? Developer? You know, it's literally what's gonna happen. I click my tongue. Alton makes dumb jokes all the time, so it might have rubbed off on me, that's all. Oh my skies. Oh my skies? Are you blushing? Is that instead of oh my god, is it oh my skies? Wow, does this place have a religion? I actually don't know. Did they say skies instead of god? I don't know. It can't be. How is my Amy this cute? My Amy cannot be this cute. A shit-eating grin on her face, Mallory noisily starts squeezing my cheeks again. Oh, if my cheeks are flushed, it's because you hound them all the time. But while I object, I make no real effort to resist. I guess you could say I didn't really dislike it all that much. You just tsundere. Now that I think about it, you never told me about how you met Atun. I want to hear about it. Please. She peers up at me with wet puppy dog eyes. Fine. Okay. It was around a year or so after the Master's Revolution. Lunch break. I was on a lunch break when it happened. I shut my eyes as memories of that time overtake my vision.